Hey, what's going on, guys? So, this is going to be part 2 of the revamp video. So, if you guys haven't already, if you haven't checked out part 1, go ahead back to the video spot on Morphed Out Reptiles channel and give the video 1 a watch, because that's really the beginning and showcasing some of the mistakes and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely go back, check out video 1, and then come back over and check out this one for part 2. As always, if you're new to the channel, we appreciate you stopping in and watching. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like notification bell to stay up to date, and we're going to get into this video. Alrighty, part 2. So part 2, we're gonna pretty much talk about the revamp and what we started to do and where we plan to keep going and heading. Basically being down from 400 plus animals now to 105 animals before we start getting eggs. We have 8 animals left for sale from 2024, which is great. We appreciate and thank all of our customers. You guys have been awesome this year. So 8 animals down, so that puts us right around, I believe the number is 105, and then the 8 for sale. But in the collection, 105 animals. From 400 plus to 105 animals. The steps that we have made and have fought through from my own self. I fought myself on a few different things that I knew had to be done, that we had to do during the revamp stages and everything, and getting rid of a lot of different animals that we still could have used, but it didn't make sense, and it honestly would have been a waste of time in our program and where we want to be. So finally cutting all of that out and being down to the final number that we're at right now. After the season gets started and we start getting girls to lay eggs, there is another cut coming with especially females. We do plan, I believe there's probably like another 10 to 15 females that we want to move out once they lay, but we'll get to that point once they start actually giving eggs. So dealing with the collection now being smaller, it is so much more fun. That's the best way I can say it. With the breedings and limiting the animals and limiting the projects, narrowing everything down to the smartest move, and it all making sense and the best sense out of what we originally had. We're very excited about what the potential outcome this year for hatchlings could be. We ended up another step forward. Instead of guessing and dealing with the breedings and everything like that, we ended up getting ourselves an ultrasound at the end of last year, I believe. So with the ultrasound, this year being a very exciting year for us, having everything minimized and down to a good number, way better pairings. We still have a few that need to be upgraded, and we always have to keep upgrading the projects, but definitely better than what we were dealing with last year. With the ultrasound, we just recently did some ultrasounding, and as of right now, we have over 23 females that are either in pre-lay ovulation or their follicle growth is 25 to 26 millimeters up to 35. Which is really, really great. Very good results from the ultrasounding, and it means that our season very well, could go up to, I think the number that I could hit is like 26 clutches, which is huge for me. I don't want 100 clutches. You guys can keep that. The breeders that do it, you guys are crazy. And it's a lot of work. So I want to stay in the range that we're at this year. I think it's going to be a good range for me and Rachel to deal with and handle. And moving forward, we're not doing shows. As we mentioned in the other video, the part 1, 2025, we don't have any shows. I do not plan on booking any shows this year. Towards the end of the year, I would like to try to make it out to a certain show. I'm not going to mention yet because I'm not sure if it's going to happen. But the main goal for this year is the rodent shed. We have decided that we should have made this decision years and years ago, but we have to get the rat shed done, built, and starting to produce for us. That's going to help us out with a lot of the expenses moving forward, and it's going to save us a ton. And it's just more funds that can go into the projects that we do need to upgrade before next year. That's also been another big part of the revamp. It's one thing to get rid of a lot of animals, slim stuff down, get it all narrowed to where I need it and the best options for what we had out of the 400 animals. But at the same time, I can't do the same thing next year. We have to keep moving forward. Which brings me to another topic with, whether you're, trying to upgrade or dealing with something like we're dealing with here at Morphed Out Reptiles, doing a revamp and trying to fix a lot of things and get back on track. Your inner circle of people that, and this isn't, I know a lot of breeders, snakes and the hobby and all the shows. I have met easily probably 20,000 people or more just from this dealing with the snakes. But your inner circle, so those people, when you're new in this industry or just coming up, most people have that one person that they watch their videos, learn from, kind of a mentor aspect. Your inner circle is very important to make sure that those people are the ones who are not only helping you out, with information or talking to you, but they're also the people that are striving for you to do better. Pointing out mistakes that are happening or questioning or commenting on, pairings or, anything of the sort. It's definitely good. You want to have people in your inner circle that are really like they're fighting for you to succeed. That's a big thing that we learned. One of the downsides that we've learned from, and now over the last, I would say probably 3.5 years, we've really narrowed that down and we've learned a ton of information. And not all the time is it about the snakes. We've learned more things on what pertaining to a business standpoint, business thinking. There's so many things that we've learned, and we're still learning to this day, talking over with our buddies and stuff. And it's very good to have those type of people in your corner. Obviously it's hard to hear and face certain things if you don't want to hear them. I know I've had issues with that. Me and Will over at Flawless, shout out to him and Audra. Me and Will butt heads all the time because I'll be like, nah, this makes sense, and he'll be like, no, bro, it doesn't. And then the more I think about it, I'm like, man, he's right. So it's really good to have those higher up, and especially successful business owners and breeders, and just jotting ideas from them. It's definitely you want the people that are sitting there. They don't have a filter with you. You want them to be up front, everything like that. But it's definitely good support, and that's a strong thing to have moving forward, and staying on track. So that's another thing. As far as moving forward, we've pretty much maxed out our animals. We don't have all of our tubs filled out, but for the layout of what our room is, we have to add one more baby rack here to complete the baby wall, which that should be in the next couple weeks. And then I want to add one more rack, an ARS holdback rack, which I'm not pressured for that. We have our baby wall is pretty big, and we're only we have 4 ARS adult racks, and I believe I'm only at 70% filled on every rack. So we have some tubs open, but I want to get an ARS like the hatchling rack for holdbacks. so that it also limits my holdbacks to that rack, and it also free up some of our baby wall, because right now our holdbacks are in the B18s. But yeah, mainly the main upgrade for this year is the rats. We definitely need to get that, especially with somebody. I've never produced my own rats. I've always been buying, and from the animal downgrade, I believe we went from a year probably the $20,000 to $25,000 range for feeders, just feeders alone for the year, and now I'm comfortable to say that we're in the 10 to 12 thousand range. Um, Even still, I would love to have that number down to the 3 to 5 thousand for the year, for just supplies, food, bedding, and stuff like that. So we definitely are working hard to get that done, and we'll be doing some filming throughout the process of that, so that you guys are, watching it happen as we're doing it. So that's a big plan for before the end of the summer, to have that done and going. Um, and of course, I mean, again, the breedings this year we have a lot. It's more so with not doing shows. It's more so, what am I gonna have available? Because every clutch that we're doing, and that should be coming, there's multiple animals that I'm like, oh man, if we hit that, it's gotta stay. We gotta put it in the rack. So it's gonna be very interesting this season to see what we produce and what we can fill in our racks, and also what we'll have available. That's really the key too. And again, mentioning the social media, pushing it forward. This year is another year where we're really trying to hit the social media hard. If you guys haven't already, we're on Palm Street. Go over there, give us a follow to stay up to date with that. I'm trying to push Rachel really heavy. For our channel, if you guys aren't into like the snakes or owning the snakes, you like watching the videos, Rachel, my wife, she does hand painted canvases. So we're trying to push her more with that, the artwork. She does animals, she does skulls, she does all types of stuff. So we're trying to push that more on the Palm Street, and as well as the animals. Definitely trying to stay focused on the YouTube uploads, Instagrams, lives. We want to get out to a few shows, hopefully at the end of the year, and kind of do some filming, be outside of the vending life part of it, because we vended for 8.5, 9 years, almost 10 straight, like every year, probably 8 to 10 shows every year. And this year everything's done, like we don't have any shows, so we're relying on online a lot this year, which is going to be fun. Definitely excited to do that, and start putting videos out of when we get clutches going, when babies are hatching. It's going to be a fun time. So but yeah, just a few quick things on fixing the revamp. Like I said, as of right now, we're pretty much kind of stagnant. We've released most of the animals that we wanted. We down to 8 animals left from 2024 for sale. And then the next step is, once we get girls laying, which we have 2 females right now that are, I think, 15 days past when they were supposed to lay. So we should have clutches rolling in any day. And once that happens, we'll get girls back on food. We'll do our next cut of females, mostly het things that are being replaced with visual. In that project, clowns, pied, I think an axanthic or 2, maybe some hypo stuff. But after that, then it's on to the additions phase. And we have our eyes on a few animals that would be very powerful for me to have here. No females, most of them are males, but another thing that we're pushing forward, I'm trying to make sure that moving forward for next year especially, that we start adding backup males. That's another thing that we learned that is very important in having a successful project, I would say, because most of our breedings are revolved around certain projects. So we want to make sure that if something was to happen with one male, we have that backup that's just as strong, if not stronger, ready to fill the first male spots in the same project. So we focused a lot on that as well. But yeah, I mean, moving forward, it's weird not having shows, but it's going to be a good thing. We should be focusing on another breeding year for the geckos. If you don't know, we do have crested geckos that we started building that part of Morphed Out Reptiles with my oldest daughter about 2 to 3 years ago. Last year we had our first successful breeding season. We did hatch out, I think we're at 16 babies, 16 or 18 babies from that year. So those are growing up. We haven't sold any geckos yet. That's kind of just a fun project that me and her have been doing and building up. So we'll be focusing a little bit more this year without not doing the shows and having a little bit of time. We can focus a little bit more on doing a couple more breedings for those. So we're excited about that. Definitely want to get a gecko rack for the babies and the holdbacks. So it's going to be exciting. Definitely keep an eye out for those updates moving forward. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. For the people that we have been, you know, I don't want to say getting help from, but really just talking through the process and learning what we can do and making it that much easier for me throughout this process. I appreciate you guys. And yeah, we're going to keep just striving to go forward and keep building up to where we want to be. But yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in. The next video, I promise, will get you back onto the animal side and show you some cool stuff. So thanks for checking it out, and we'll see you next time.